So let's ask the experts. I have Lynn Lott here and Dr. Jane Nelson. Could you tell us, what is positive discipline?
Well, we've written all these books about positive discipline, so that's not a bad question. What the heck is it?
It's hard to put it in a nutshell, so we hope that you'll look at some of the more expanded things you'll learn in our books. But basically, we're trying to help parents learn how to teach their kids and help them learn from mistakes in a non-punitive, kind, and firm way.
Right, and when we tell parents that positive discipline doesn't include any punishment, any rewards, any praise, it doesn't even include logical consequences, which is, or timeout, no timeout. Often they start thinking, what is it then? What doesn't include? Because that's usually the main tools that they have. So what we do is teach a whole bunch of other tools like problem solving in family meetings and getting children respectfully involved and learning how to do chores and contribute.
And setting limits as a parent and following through on those limits. Kindly and firmly, because parents try to discipline children with a lot of words and a lot of blah, 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 and then the kids tune the parents out. So we teach parents, don't say something unless you mean it, and if you mean it, follow through and make sure that the action is both kind and firm, that it's not punitive.
And another new theme of positive discipline right now is connection before correction. And we've said this in many ways, like make sure the message of love gets through or create closeness and trust. And yet, it's the idea that you create the belonging and significance, which is so important, before you try a correction. But even then, the correction is not the conventional way of doing the punishment. It's the way of creating a sense of space where they're willing to learn problem solving and concern for others and contribution.
A lot of positive discipline is also teaching people to stop being reactive and help them be proactive so that you're not trying to solve problems in the middle of the chaos. And one of the main tools that we use is family meetings. So if you're having a problem, instead of solving it that minute, you can write it down, and then at your family meeting you can talk together calmly about maybe a good solution.
We have these 5 criteria for effective discipline. And all of the tools, we teach many, many tools of what to do besides punishment, but they all meet the criteria, first of all, being both kind and firm at the same time, creating a sense, helping children feel that sense of belonging and significance. And there are also tools that work long range instead of just short term. In other words, that they teach children, which is the 4th one, valuable social and life skills for good character. And the last one is they are tools that help children develop the belief that I'm capable and that I can use my personal power in useful ways.
Also, one other thing is our emphasis on a feeling vocabulary, that it really helps kids not just to think about what they do, but also how they feel and how other people feel when things are happening. So we teach kids how to identify their feelings, how to talk about their feelings, how to ask for what they need, and how to say what they want.
No rewards, no praise, no logical consequences, also no permissiveness, because that's often what people think. If we say no punishment, well, what are you going to do? Let the kids do whatever they want?
And I've asked a lot of people, what is positive discipline? And most people have said to me, that stuff doesn't work. You just let kids get away with things. They run all over you. You mamsy-pamsy your children. What can I tell parents who think that that's what positive discipline is?
You know, years and years and years ago, my daughter said to me one day, Mom, why can't you just stop trying to teach us lessons and just hit us like a normal parent and we'd be done with it? I think when you really use positive discipline, the demands are very big on your kids, because you're asking them to think about what they're doing, what caused it to happen, and what can they do different next time. You're helping them learn to take responsibility for their behavior, and you're following through. So if one of my kids makes an agreement to do something, then I expect them to follow through. And if they don't follow through, I'm on it until they do follow through, rather than punishing them and then they never have to do the thing they agree to. There's no permissiveness in positive discipline. It's not the parents being the boss or the kids being the boss. It's working together to have a mutually respectful relationship in the family.
It is interesting that when I was first parenting, the only things I knew was punishment and control or permissiveness. And I would go back and forth, but I didn't know all the things that were in between. And positive discipline is what's in between, because it's not permissive nor punitive. but instead teaches kids these life skills like problem solving, so that if a child does something that's not effective, you might say, well, what's the problem, and what could you do to solve the problem? How could you use your thinking skills and your problem solving skills to solve this? So they're learning skills. Permissiveness creates weakness. That is not respectful to children. Punishment is not respectful to children. Positive discipline is always respectful.
Just let me give a quick example. I was at the beach the other day, and there was a father who kept yelling at his kid, "Don't go out there, don't go out there, it's too far, stop going out there, your brother's going to follow you, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that." That would not be positive discipline. And actually, in a way, his kids were doing exactly the opposite of everything he said, and he was getting more frustrated and getting louder. In positive discipline, a parent would stand up, they wouldn't be sitting when they said something like that. They'd walk over to the child so they were close enough to see them and touch them. And instead of telling them what not to do, they would tell them what to do. And so that parent could have said, "Let's stay on this side of the line," or "Can you come a little closer to shore where it's safer?" or "Hold my hand, let's walk back a few steps." That would be positive discipline.
Okay, now I have two more questions before I let you go. One is, sometimes parents say, "Oh, I use positive discipline. I make my kids sit in the corner for an hour. I don't hit my kids. I have him sit there for an hour and he has to come away with a good attitude." Is that positive discipline?
Well, you know the answer to that.
Well, you know what I love to do is I love to ask them, if somebody told you as a parent, suppose your husband comes home and says, "I don't like the dinner you cooked. I want you to go sit in the corner and you stay there for an hour, and I'll let you know when it's okay to come out." Would that inspire you to do better? And it's interesting how we do things to kids that we think are inspiring better people, but all they do is they make them feel revengeful and angry and to want to get even or to not let and get caught next time. So that is not positive discipline because it's not respectful.
Right, and that's the bottom line, is respect.
Okay, and my second question is, some people feel like positive discipline is for white people. Black children would never respond to this. I've actually heard that before. Could you tell people why positive discipline would work for black children too?
You know, Jane and I have worked for, I don't know, over 30 years, and we've worked in every culture. We've worked with Indian culture, we've worked with black people, we've worked with Hispanic, we've worked with, you name the culture, we've worked with them. And across the board, when people follow the ideas of positive discipline, they feel better about parenting and their kids do better. It works across culture because it's about respect, and what culture doesn't want to be respected?
And you know, that is the bottom line, is that these are universal principles. I mean, we can't find any culture that doesn't think that people should be treated with dignity and respect. And Alfred Adler, as you may know, this is based on the work of Alfred Adler and Rudolf Dreikurs. And Alfred Adler was one who was teaching in the 1930s and the 20s that all people have equal rights to dignity and respect. And he meant all cultures, he meant men and women, and he meant children.
All right. Well, thank you both very much. Any other closing words?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to help you, and good luck with your campaign. We're rooting for you.
Thank you.
As you know, we also want to create peace in the world, which means no hitting.
That's right, that's right. And you are my heroes. I just want you to know. Thank you for creating positive discipline. It can turn the whole world upside down and make this planet work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Family stronger, because I feel once the family unit is stronger, then the whole community can become a stronger unit, and wonderful things can happen once that's in place. I love the philosophy. It's very empowering for both the parent and the child. It allows for communication, exploration of problem solving. It's just wonderful.